Excuse me, y'all. I got Instagram going on. I got YouTube Live going on. I got Facebook Live time 2 going on. I'm running my own studio. Funny thing is, if I got a studio, I wouldn't have to do all this. What's going on, fam? Give me a hot second here so I can invite some other people out. I know those of y'all who supposed to be here is already here. Where y'all at? Tell me your city and state so I can know how far the reach is on this social media. Inviting some people out. YouTube said I had a couple people waiting for me to go live. How cool is that? I like YouTube. That's why they blew up so fast. You had a lot of people who became successful off of YouTube. So let's see. Maybe it'll help me spread the word. If y'all on my YouTube, please subscribe. If you're not on my YouTube page, please subscribe, family. Winterhawk, what's going on, fam? Danielle, how you doing? Miss Stephanie, how you doing? Who we got here? Ashay, Naomi, Los Angeles. What's up, Miss Kathy? Naomi, Cameron, how you doing? Who we got over here? Stephen, how you doing? Anu, I hope I pronounced that right. If I didn't, please forgive me. Jordan, how you doing, family? Who we got over here? YouTube, where you at? Say hi, YouTube. What's going on? What are we going to talk about here today? We're going to talk about, let me look at my background. I don't want y'all seeing anything y'all ain't supposed to be seeing. Let me see here. Katrina, how you doing, fam? So I want to talk about my take on historical designations. If you don't know what a historical designation is, I'm going to tell you about it real quick if that's okay with y'all. A historical designation over real estate is something that will protect homes, the historicalness, meaning, say, for example, historical designation. When do you use a historical designation? A historical designation. Let me rewind back. What is a historical designation? A historical designation is something that's used when you want to protect real estate that's historical. So, for example, let's talk about what is historical. What's an example of a historical home? New Orleans in the house. What's going on, Miss Emery? So, what is a historical designation? I'm gonna give y'all an example. Martin Luther King Jr. had a house in Atlanta, Georgia, and they wanted to convert that house into a museum. So they put a historical designation over that house to prevent it from ever being torn down and things like that. So that house is protected through a historical register saying that if you ever want to tear this house down, you can't do it. So they decide to put those over things that's historical. So, for example, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's a very historic area. So you would want to have a historical designation over Black Wall Street saying, hey, this is where Marcus Garvey's office used to be at, right here. This used to be Marcus Garvey's building. This building here, the African-American people built this back in the 1800s when we had Black Wall Street. So that's what a historical designation is. And that is definitely something you want to protect. So now, how do they use that as a weapon? How do they use that to hurt African-American people? They will turn around and say, hey, when you have a high-end Black community that's highly sought after, which the reason why I'm talking about this, by the way, is I just got a phone call from a friend, email. I get a lot of people sending me things about what's your take on this? What's your take on that? What do you think we should do about this? So I consult a lot of people in talking about this war on real estate, I call it. So I received a letter saying that they're putting they're going to vote to put a historical designation over a black community here in Inglewood, California. You know, is a highly sought after community. It's very some nice sized houses over there, nice sized lots, the whole nine. And that's an area that everybody wants. So why don't what's my take on that? Well, I don't like historical designations because they will use that as a way to hold housing prices down in a community. So what happens is when during gentrification, once gentrification is over with and they get all the African American people out of the community, no, during gentrification, if you have a high-end black community where a lot of black elite live or people with money, and you know that these neighborhoods are already worth a lot of money and they want them to go up, what you do is you go in there, they go in there. No, to keep the values from going up in those black communities, they put that historical designation over there over the property, meaning you can't come in here and develop that property. You can't come in here and update it and put all this new stuff on the properties. You got to use the same old stuff that's on that house. You can't come in there and tear the house down and build a bigger house, which will increase the values in the communities. So they put a historical designation on there, and that will by itself get people in trouble. So what was I looking at? I remember consulting with some people over the View Park area in California. That is the wealthiest black community in America, meaning we got black billionaires that live in that neighborhood that ain't celebrities and actors and movie stars and singers and dancers or athletes or whatever, but business people. You have the wealthiest black community in America live in View Park, California. So of course they want to but here's the thing about View Park. Some of those homes see the ocean and the Hollywood sign, etc. Have a 360-degree view almost. So they want to put a historical designation on that. That's my will. That kind of like put a cap on the home values in that area and the things that they can do in that area. So what do I mean by that? Once the African American people are all gentrified out of these areas, they're going to turn around and remove all the historical designations off of these communities, and then they're going to go in there and bulldoze the communities and tear down the two and 3 bedroom houses that look at the Hollywood sign and put up some 6,000 7-bedroom, 7-bathroom homes on those same lots, and that's going to catapult the home prices from $1 million. That's going to catapult the home prices from $1 million to $3 and $4 million once you start doing stuff like that. View Park, California, the home prices are already at about 1.7 million for the biggest homes over there, 2.2. So if you turn around and remove that historical designation and start building, that will open the door for you to put up some 10,000 square foot houses, 15,000 on a normal, which will greatly increase the value in those neighborhoods. And at the same time, increase the values of the smaller houses. So if this house is sitting here with 2 bedrooms, 1 bath, and is sitting here with a view, looking at the Hollywood sign, for example, and it's only worth $800,000, hypothetically speaking, because it's an older house, it needs to be restored. But if they tear down 3 or 4 houses on that block and build some 6 and 7 and 10,000 square foot mansions on them same lots, all of a sudden those properties go for $4 and $5 million and up. That's going to greatly increase the value of the little house that's only worth $800,000. Every time one of those houses sell and close for for 4 and 5 million, the values of the smaller houses are going to go up with them. Y'all hear what I just said? Every time they build the bigger houses, the 7-bedroom, 7-bathroom houses, 6,000, 7,000, 10,000 square feet, every time they finish building them and sell them and they close escrow and it records that this house just sold for 5 or 6 million, immediately the value on the other houses, the smaller houses and the rest of the neighborhood the appraiser comes in and sees that 2 or 3 houses just closed escrow last week, and they all closed for 5, 6, and $7 million. That immediately pulls the value up on the little houses that were 2 bedroom, 1 bath worth 800,000. That's going to make those smaller houses jump to 2 million, because now you're not talking about what's on that lot. You're talking about land value now. You're talking about land values in that community. So if there's a bunch of $5 and $6 million houses on this block in this neighborhood, we're talking about the land is priceless now. We can tear the house down, forget the $800,000 house. It's about the land. We can tear this house down and put a house that looked three stories tall, that sees the Hollywood sign or that sees the ocean. Now that's worth 5, 6, 7, 10 million, 15 million, $20 million. You go to Beverly Hills and look at those houses that are looking at the Hollywood sign. Those houses are $35 million, $100 million houses there. So why would you think there's going to be anything different from the Black community? That's why they place those historical designations on those communities, because they know that the developers are going to jump the gun and go in there into the Black community, and they got some prime real estate. They're going to tear it down ahead of schedule, meaning before they can get rid of all the Black people out of the communities. Then they're going to turn around and put up the 10,500 square foot house and say, hey, it looks at the Hollywood sign, and this used to be neighbors. The neighbors are celebrities and wealthy people. Then all of a sudden you're going to start pulling in the people from Beverly Hills that says, you know what, my house is 15 or 50, $35 million. I'm going to sell it for 35 million because I just sold it to this guy who just moved here from Palo Alto, California, that works for Google, and he's one of their main designers. He came in, he gave me 35 million for my house, even though I only wanted 15 for it. So now that I got 35 million, I'm going to go over here to this Black community, which looks at the Hollywood sign also, just like my house does. But I'm going to go over there and buy that house for, it's only 4 or 5 million. So I'm going to put 30 million in my pocket. Y'all hear what I just said? They're going to put 30 million in their pocket and have amazing view on a brand new built house. Y'all hear what I just said? Or even also they will turn around and do the same things, sell their houses for large amounts of money, move to the Black community and start bulldozing 3 or 4 houses and say, hey, I'm going to bulldoze all these houses, give everybody $1 million a piece, and then turn around and drop me a 8,000 square foot house looking at the ocean, and I'm going to be out of no more than 6 million. But in 10 years, the same house is going to be worth about $25 million, because by then we will have gotten all the African Americans out of there, because we're going to buy them out at low prices, because they think that $1 million is a lot of money. They think that $2 million is a lot of money. But here's the thing. We're losing those houses, not we, because I'm not participating in that. I know what's going on. African American communities are losing these houses in these prime real estate areas purely based on the fact that they don't know business. They don't know how real estate works. And then you got people who got student loans saying mom and dad is retiring. They're getting ready to get older. They're older now, and they want to move away and find something smaller since all the children are out. So we're going to go ahead and sell the house. It's like you're going to sell the prime real estate, which is a highly sought after area. Are you kidding me? That makes absolutely no sense. So again, family, you got people who say, well, I got student loans and, I owe 200,000. So I want to get to pay those loans off, and that becomes a big problem. But anyway, now we come over here to Inglewood. They're coming straight into the wealthiest Black community in Inglewood, and they want to put a historical designation on that area too, because they know that area is going to quickly jump up and be worth a lot of money. And they don't want to make African Americans wealthy, because again, like I said, if they don't put the historical designation on these areas, developers are going to come in there and say, I want to make some money today, and bulldoze the houses and start putting up 3-story houses in areas that has historically barely had 2-story houses. Maybe 80, if there's 1,000 houses in this area, hypothetically speaking, maybe 200 of them were 2 stories. So now they're going to tear down the houses in that area and build 3-story houses primarily. so they can get more square footage and have a better view, that is going to pull the prices of the real estate up through the roof. So the person who's probably in foreclosure, who's behind on their payment, the person who hadn't done any maintenance on their house, who doesn't really care, who's just been living in the house and enjoying life and never really doing anything, or the people who is just has a clean house, a nice old house, 2 bedroom, 1 bath, 3 bedroom, 1 bath. That said, I like my house. I'm good. I'm not going anywhere. They got a nice paint on it. It's very well taken care of. Their houses are going to skyrocket in value. So when the houses hit 5 and 6 million, immediately their values are going to jump up to like a couple of million. So that means you're going to start making regular, everyday, hardworking people wealthy or wealthier. So I know a lot of people on here is probably thinking, well, that's not right. I'm not going to be able to afford to move in that neighborhood at $2 or $3 million. Well, you know what? A lot of people can't afford to buy a house at 400,000. So because a lot of people are missing the boat, they're not paying attention to the real estate market. They're being bamboozled and letting people say you should invest in the stock market with your money. You should take this money and go invest it in stocks. You should take this money and go invest it in insurance. Don't never talk about real estate. And if they do talk about real estate, they tell us flip, 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 flip. You can flip houses. You should flip houses. And every time I look at TV, there's a new TV show on talking about flipping houses. But here's the problem I have with flipping houses. Real estate has historically been about sitting and holding. Y'all hear what I just said? Real estate has historically been sitting and holding. I didn't hear nothing about a flipping houses until 2000 and something. Y'all hear what I just said? Me personally, I ain't hear nothing about flipping houses until 2000 and something. When I was investing in all that real estate back in my days in the early 2000s, we did not buy houses to fix them up and sell them. You know why? Because we really didn't have no equity. The money came from renting the houses out. Y'all hear what I just said? The money came from renting houses out, sitting back, having 10, 20 houses rented out, bringing in all this Section 8 money a month. I got a 4-bedroom house sitting over here that I paid $1,000 for, rented out to Section 8 for what started off at $600. Then it went to $900. And then 10 years later, it's at $50. And I'm still collecting boo gobs of rent. Why would I want to flip that house and walk away with, $10,000 or $20,000? That would be stupid. Seeing that I'm raking in that money, annually. I'm raking in that money annually, and it's continuing to rise. Y'all hear what I just said? So I look at the games and the strategies they play on us by putting all these things in our community. So let's talk about View Park again. When they put that historical designation on the houses in View Park, California, they also attached in the bylaws, in the fine print, that if you do tear down one of these houses, or if you do restore your house and don't use that same old stuff, that's punishable by prison time. Now, if African American people was putting that together, someone who lived in that neighborhood and someone who's trying to save their people, why would you put a clause in there saying if you put new windows in this house, you're going to go to prison? I can understand a fine. I can understand an exuberant fine, something that's going to be a large amount, something that's going to make you feel like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have, upgraded this house and went against the guidelines and the bylaws, for example. That's not us doing that, family. That's people that don't look like us doing that. And maybe if you do say, oh, I know who did that, those people are working for someone to come into the Black community and set us up for failure. People are following the wrong people, y'all. I sit back and I look at all these leaders of these communities, and it's 99% of the time it's a pastor. It's always a pastor who's very well respected and everybody trusts his word or her word. And then the next thing you know, they come in and they set people up for failure and they say, well, you know what? Everybody's like, well, he got money, so we should listen to what he got to say. But they don't realize he's being paid off. He's getting paid to do these bad things in these communities, to come in there and say, we're going to put historical designation over this neighborhood and we're going to write in the bylaws, but we're not going to tell everybody that it's punishable by prison time. So anyway, that's my take on that. So I want to take some questions or see what the people was talking about. Let's start off in here with Instagram. You talk about it like it's a bad thing. I talk about it like it is. That's what I do. It is what it is. You are talking to, there's literally one person. Anyway, I know what that is. See, whenever you pick a good topic, you're going to have some what's those scammers, or what do you call those people that be on your Facebook page to make you look stupid, to try to bring up dumb points, or heckler. You're gonna have hecklers. Belinda, how you doing? Dawid, how you doing? Ah, how you doing? D, how you doing? Katrina Lynch, how you doing? Stephen, how you doing? Anupa, how you doing? Kim, how you doing? Who we got over here? Mr. Smith, how you doing? Miss Elliott, Mr. Wiley in the house. Saudia, Miss Porto, super agent in the house. Annette, Anthony Lindsay, we need more loans for blacks. I don't really think we need more loans for blacks. I think if we knew how to invest in real estate, we would know where to plant seeds. It's just like you say, okay, fruit and vegetables are becoming too expensive to buy. So I'm going to turn around and go get some apples from my cousin's house. And I'm going to take the seeds out of it and plant them in my backyard. And then in 5 years, I'll be eating, not even 5 years, I'll be eating off my own tree, for example. It's the same thing with real estate. We got to learn how to think ahead, buy cheap in up and coming neighborhoods that's about to develop. See, when you're trying to go out backwards and get a loan to buy a house in a neighborhood that's 600,000 and 700,000, I don't think that's necessarily a good idea. Because if you can't just afford it, then it ain't work. It ain't for you. Anthony, how you doing? Jarrell, how you doing? Miss Emery in the house. Okay, Nomad. Kathy again. I got y'all. Danielle, Asia, Naomi. All right, I said hi to y'all. How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all. Anybody got any questions for me? Kevin, how you doing, bro? My lowrider family in the house. So anyway, y'all, I've been on. Y'all know I've been traveling, I've been traveling the nation doing my tour, monetizing gentrification, and I just recently dropped my book purely based on the facts of all these topics that we're talking about now. I got Building Black Ownership, Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership is the book that I've been selling, that I wrote. I got over 30 years of just, you're not necessarily always hearing me talking. You're hearing knowledge that came from some real estate gurus from when I was a kid, a young person. I learned a lot about real estate and entrepreneurship. So you're hearing things that I learned from some whales. What I'm saying? That was imparted and passed down to me that still holds strong to this day. People like flipping houses for what? Shane. I'll never forget one of my partners asked, what is that? Oh, that's that stuff on TV where people buying houses in prime neighborhoods and fixing them up and selling them for $40,000 profit. He said, that's stupid. You know what I'm saying? I already knew. It's always funny to me when people who know the game, to hear their responses, they just shake their head like, you better stop. I had people tell me, you better stop watching all this TV. Historically, real estate has always been buy the house, live in it, fix it up, rent it out, and sit back and collect the rent. That's called generational wealth, family. Something that you can sit back and collect rent off of, and eventually it gets paid off, and then you just sitting back collecting free money minus your taxes, and then all of a sudden you could pass that house or that apartment down to your children. So it's things like that we got to think about, family, and focus on, and quit letting this TV program y'all. That's why they call it the teller lie. I'm gonna tell you a lie in your vision, through the vision. I'm gonna tell you a bunch of lies and program you. That's why they call it program. I'm gonna watch a program. It's called programming. They're programming you to do dumb things. So when your grandma get old and pass the house down to you, the first thing you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna just go in there and put a little money in it and flip it. Your grandma done paid the house off because she's been in the house for 50 something years and bought the house for $2,500. Now it's worth $750, and you gonna sell it? You got something that's gonna generate you more money. You gonna sit back and generate $3,000-$4,000 a month, depending on where the house is at, in rent. You gonna sell that house? Let's think about that, family. I like to do the math personally. If you're making $3,000 a month profit off of some income property, that's just hypothetical speaking. They got a lot of people who got numbers like this coming in. You're making $3,000 a month profit off of a piece of income property. That's $36,000 a year profit. Now you have that house for 10 years. That's $3.6 million. But let's talk about this. The house is going to go up every year. The rent is going to go up every year, family. So now in 10 years, the house is worth, you're making 3.6 million, probably 5 million with the house increase, with the neighborhood increases. But yet you get grandma's house and you turn around and it's worth 650. I say it's worth 700. You take that same house and you put 20,000 into it, building out a new kitchen and a bathroom, hypothetically speaking, and then you sell it for 750. One time deal, you got 750,000, and then you turn around and you walk off and you get taxed like almost half of that money. Now you walking off with 350. You taking most people will take the tax hit and take the 350 because they need the money badly. They think they need the money badly. And then they'll take that hit, so they'll walk away with 350,000, and then they saying, "Oh, I got to pay my student loans." So then they got 150,000 in student loans. Then boom, they cash out student loans. Then they're thinking, "I'm gonna put my daughter in college. Let me go. I don't want her to go through what I went through, so I'm gonna take that money and pay $100,000 on her student loans." So all they basically really walking away with is 50,000. Y'all hear what I said? And then they turn around and go buy a Range Rover or some luxury car with that. So they never really reaping the values and benefits of that. So what should they have really done with that money? They turn around and take that same house, don't sell the house, sit on the house, rent the house out if you can't afford to pay the taxes on it. Rent the house out. Let someone who can afford to pay the taxes, who can afford to live there, let them rent the house. I mean, let them pay the rent on the house, and you just sit back. Every opportunity you can that the rent goes up, you turn around and you raise the rent. So this year you made $3,600. I mean, 36,000. You got to ask yourself, how much did you make at your job? You got a lot of people who's barely making that kind of money at their job. And if they making 80,000, you got income property that'll generate you, 72,000 in 2 years. So flipping houses is absolutely stupid. The only time you flip houses is if you don't really need, is if you really don't need the money and you just here trying to make some money because it's a hobby. That's when you flip houses. Oh, I just wanted something to do. So I'm trying to keep my team working. Like one of my partners, he's doing that. He's building up houses and fixing them. And I asked him, I said, why are you doing that? He said, oh, because if I don't, these guys, my partners, it's called Recycling Black Dollars, creating jobs in the community. One of my partners, he's been retired and he's still building houses. Why is he doing that? He said, because he got the money to retire, but his boys don't. The guys, his trusted family and friends that have been working with him for decades, they don't got money saved up. They don't know how to manage their money. So he's going to keep doing it so he can keep taking care of them. Now I can understand a situation like that, family, but anyway, outside of that, no. We are not supposed to be flipping houses in this economy. Now, you may say, I need some money. I need some liquid in my pocket. I need some bills paid off. So you turn around and you build a house, or you fix up a house and you flip it. Okay, now you got whatever that is, large amount of money you got, you done pay some debt off. Now you got enough to go get back into some more real estate. That makes sense. But you do not sell no house so that you can go pay off some bills and some debt. That's insanity, family. You do not flip houses. You're supposed to sit and hold on this real estate. And if you're talking to someone telling you that, oh, the market is going to crash anyway, you should sell everything, you should pull your equity out and run, you're being bamboozled, family. So anyway, that's why I've been traveling around the country. I wrote the book to kind of help people out with that, monetizing gentrification, building Black ownership, and I debunk all those myths and lies they're telling us. Yes, the house market crashed back in the days. Yes, it happened then, and yes, it happened back in the days. But guess what? When the housing market crashed back in those days, there wasn't no Amazon buying up, getting all the land, building stores all over the country. There was no Google and buying the Jordan Down projects and totally redoing it, investing $3 billion into that project. There was no Google renting spaces in the commercial malls all around the state, all over the country. There was no Larry Ellison and all in Malibu buying up all the vacant land and billionaires, trillionaires gentrifying billionaires. That wasn't happening when the market crashed back in those days. So they're going to continue to tell us these lies to discourage us Not us, but people who don't know the game. They're going to keep telling people these lies to discourage you and trick you out of selling your real estate. Then you're going to be sitting there looking silly. But again, I wrote this book to kind of help people with a blueprint to walk us through this crap. Because I'm telling you, it's real irritating hearing these things that's going on. And when I hear people tell me these things, it's like, well, whose idea? I always ask key questions. It's like, oh yeah, we put historical designation over this neighborhood. I said, who? Who was we? Oh, my organization. Who heads the organization? They looking at me crazy. Like, I was just trying to tell you that we did that we protected this neighborhood. It ain't gonna be gentrified, TJ. I'd be like, you don't even know how this works and how that works. I want to know who recommended that we do that. I want to talk. I want to ask those people. I want to see who these people are. And then if you look at these people, these are the same people who historically have been putting our neighborhood in bad decisions, who create bad ideas for our communities, and people are listening to them. Like I said, the majority of the time it's a pastor. You know what I'm saying? So people don't question the pastor. When a pastor recommends we do something, people tend to do it. But I don't want pastors speaking on my behalf because I already know these people are paid off. You very rarely hear these pastors coming in. I'm not out here to blast your religion or anything like that. It's just about historical data and facts. I know which questions to ask. Most people say we put a historical designation to protect this neighborhood. Everybody gets, oh, okay, cool. And if they ask any question, oh, the pastor said do it. I want to know who is the pastor and what's his name, because I'd like to have a word with him and ask him some questions. But if you tell me his name, I'll be like, oh yeah, he runs with these people and he's been paid off for a long time. So he don't recommend anything when police are shooting at black people. He don't recommend anything when people coming in here doing all this crazy stuff, when the Koreans is buying, not selling the blacks and spitting on black people. He ain't got nothing to say about anything. But now all of a sudden he recommends we put a historical designation over a black community. He ain't never even recommended we start a business. So why are we listening to him? You know, let him stay in his, what they told Kobe or whoever it was, keep dribbling. Y'all tell the pastors to keep praying. I'm not trying to be funny and trying to be rude, but a lot of these cats are not here for the benefit of our community. And I don't like the fact that they're being chosen to speak for our communities. That's not right. And that's why the neighborhoods are in such disarray right now, why they're going through so much, because we need business owners, real estate gurus, people, developers. Let the developers speak for the community. Oh, we're going to have a real estate problem. We need to talk to the developers, the black people in the community that know about real estate. No, not a real estate agent, because they have a biased opinion. They want to sell everything, period. We need to talk to the people who has the best interest in this community. You know, business owners, Mr. Business Owner, what do you think? Let's go talk to the man who owns the local grocery store, the local gas station, the local this. That's black owned. Let's find these people and talk to them. The local beauty salon, the local beauty supply, that's black owned, the local barbershop. Let's go ask these people, what do they think about the real estate in this community? Ask them and see what they think. They don't have a biased opinion because they're business owners and they want to protect the real estate in this area. Anyway, y'all, I can go on and on and on and on. So that's my take on, historical designations. And that's just one of them, family. We got a lot of things that are being presented to the black community of why we should be doing certain things. And don't just listen to one person. Always seek a second and third opinion. If something happened to you and you go to the doctor and the doctor be like, we're gonna have to amputate your hand or your arm or something, most likely you're gonna want a second opinion, right? You're gonna want a second opinion, and it makes sense. So we can't sit back and say, oh, the pastor or the head of the NAACP not calling shots out to people, recommended we put a historical designation over the neighborhood. Well, okay, let's get a second opinion from a second and third opinion from some people who does this for a living, who knows about real estate, who owns property, who's investors, who's speaking on real estate, who wrote books about the real estate. Let's go talk to them first, because just because you're a rapper or you're an athlete or you're a pastor don't mean you should be over here speaking on something that greatly affects the whole community. That's why I always ask, who said that? Whose idea? Who proposed that? What else has he proposed to help the black community? Water, family. You got to drink more water. And then you drink it out of a glass bottle. Quit buying them plastic bottles of water unless it's BPA free. Like you see, I got a bottle of water behind me, a 5-gallon bottle of water, because this is my office. So I'm always sitting here in it. So I want to have my water close to me. So I always drink water and I always have it in a glass bottle as long as I can. You know what I'm saying? Every blue moon, I might go to an event. I don't have my glass bottle. But anyway, health is important, y'all. So anyway, I'm going to plug myself, pay some bills. Again, I got the book, Monetizing Gentrification, Building Black Ownership. People say, why you got to put black on there? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people look like us. Well, you don't have to tell white people and Asians about building ownership because they already got a lot of ownership. They already own houses. A lot of them are living in the house that their grandparents used to have. A lot of them are living in or running the business that their parents left them. So I can't go to an Asian is not going to want to buy this book because they already know about generational wealth and about things like that. What's up, Ms. Bree? I'll be at February 10th. I'll be speaking in Gardena, California, giving a presentation talking about the same title, Monetizing Gentrification, my research of what's been going on around the country. So why don't you go on my website, thomastjlofton.com, and you can scroll down and you'll see my Eventbrite where you can register. It's only $25 to come in there, and I'm going to show you some presentations and drop some knowledge on the bulk of the things that they're putting on us as a people in this community of disinformationing us. Oh, we got on here. So February 2nd, I'll be actually February 1st. That's my birthday. I'll be speaking. I'll be on the radio show, The Business Zone with Crystal and Gilbert. I'll be doing that show February the 1st from 3 to 5 p.m. That's the hour, the time the show is ran. And February 2nd, I'll be at the Black College Expo at the Los Angeles Convention Center. I'll be speaking. I'll be having my booth set up where I'll be signing my books and doing the book signings. And I'll also be speaking on the panel discussions for the booming careers. I think they have a couple of those as well, where I come in there and I'm going to sit on a panel discussion with a lot of different people who got jobs and businesses or whatever they do for a living, things that's supposed to design to inspire the youth. So I come in there and I always represent entrepreneurship, of course, talking about, I bring that piece to the table saying entrepreneurship, family. You're going to go to college, take some classes that you can start a business in, young people. So that's why I love to do the Black College Expo. I appreciate them for reaching out every year and allowing me to participate. February the 9th? February 9th, I will be at Malik's bookstore. What's up, Malik? I saw you on here somewhere. I'll be at Malik's bookstore in the Baldwin Hill Crenshaw Mall in Los Angeles, California. I'll be there for 12 to 4. Why so many hours? Because that is also the day of the Pan-African Film Festival. So it's going to be an amazing day. We're going to have a lot of Black filmmakers there from all around the world. We're going to be, have a lot of vendors from all around the world who come there and sell some amazing Black products, y'all. So if you got some investors on the line here who's looking to invest some money, you definitely want to go to the Pan-African Film Festival where I'll be at my book signing, because you got a lot of people who bringing in products from Africa and all these Black countries from around the world, and be looking for some people to sell them, looking for some people to sell their products. So I always think that's a great opportunity to make some investments in something. February the 16th, I will be at Simply Wholesome in Los Angeles, California on Slauson and Overhill from 12 to 1. Start having the live music. Y'all know I love to go and hear that live music being performed at my favorite restaurant, Simply Wholesome. So I'll be doing book signing there on February 16th, 12 to 1:30. I'll be sitting right there in the lobby, signing books, taking pictures, and enjoying some great Black food made by African-American people owned. And I appreciate Simply Wholesome for allowing me to come in there. for selling my books. I appreciate them for selling my books. That's a powerful situation to say that I am participating in recycling my black dollars. They allowed me to sell my books in that store. I allowed them to make money off of my books. So that's a wonderful opportunity of where we have cooperative economics. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Where we're making money, helping each other out. My customers are their customers. Y'all hear what I just said? There is no competition. So that's why I love to see that my books are on the shelves in black stores around the country, and I'm working to get it in more places. So here we are coming up on Black History Month. Y'all know my birthday leads it. So these other folks decided that, we're going to have Black History Month. When I was born, they decided, okay, TJ was born February 1st. Now I'm being funny, y'all. I was born February 1st. I'm serious about that. But that's the month they decided, okay, we're going to give black folks 28 days to talk about black people. So we're going to start it off with TJ. So I think it's only appropriate that I started off, so y'all got somebody going to have to, more people retain me and have me come out and speak at their events. Matter of fact, February 15th, I will be at Dominguez College from 2 to 5. They're going to have a black entrepreneurship forum. Y'all hear what I'm saying? We are in a situation where we have already heard a lot about what it takes to be black, about where black people came from. Hadrian, Kenneth, how y'all doing? We've already heard a lot about that. We've gotten a lot of our black history. We've gotten a lot of our data of where we came from as a people. But I think in 2019, family, it's time to work on our finances. I'm working on my finances. I need y'all help with that. And I think we all should be working on our finances, meaning we just got through experiencing our teachers had a rough time with this layoff. I mean, with this, what is it called? I don't know what I'm thinking about. Strike. The teachers were out strike because they need to make more money to live in this economy. Anybody living in California and Los Angeles, especially, you got to make a lot of money because the rent is sky high. If you didn't buy a house by a certain time, you may have missed the boat. So we got to make some serious coin in California. So yes, we got to get our financial house together, family. And the best way to do that is to bring me in as a speaker and let me talk entrepreneurship and real estate ownership with us, family. Y'all know my background. Who we got there? Strike. Thank you, brother. And the government shut down. I thought that was mighty interesting that, the strike came, the government shutdown happened right before Christmas. This is the worst time of the year to have something like that. It's going to go right before Christmas and going to ride all the way through tax season, for example. That's the worst time of the year to have a strike or a shutdown, because that's the time when people spending a lot of money, family. Other times of the year, it's like, oh, well, whatever. We don't have to go nowhere for the summer. We don't have to go on vacation this year, but everybody's not going to miss that Christmas time. They're not going to miss that traveling to grandma's house for the holidays. So that's a bad time to have it, and that's why they did it at that time. Celebrity Mac in the house. What's up, good brother? Other than that, family, anybody got any questions for me? We kind of try to address some things. I love when I'm around. Like all the last year, I was traveling, speaking all over the nation. And, I got a little window here. So I'm like, let me kind of sit down and chop it up with the family and do some lives from time to time, so we can kind of dispel some of these myths that's going on. So I was on the East Coast the majority of last year of 2018. So now I'm on the West Coast. So if y'all got some events coming up, y'all reach out to me. It don't matter where you at around the world. You in Detroit, you in Africa, reach out to me, talk about some numbers, and let's get me on the plane. So I can come out there and speak about entrepreneurship and ownership, real estate and business ownership, y'all. We could talk about, y'all know I got an international conversation. So again, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I don't want to take up too much of y'all time. I appreciate it if y'all can go to my YouTube page at Thomas TJ Lofton and click subscribe. I appreciate it if you can go to my Facebook page and click like and follow. I appreciate it if y'all can go to my Instagram page and click like on a few of my videos. And on Facebook, please click share Share me into some of y'all favorite groups, because you got a lot of people who don't know anything about this topic that I just said, and they may have voted for the historical designation to be placed over their neighborhood. They may have voted for that because they didn't have the knowledge that I have. They didn't know that there's another side of the story, another side of the coin. So they may need to hear this. They may want to reach out to me and have me come and speak on opportunity zones and gentrification, because I did write the book. I am an expert, family. You cannot sit back and think that, oh, my uncle is a real estate agent. He knows a lot about real estate. So I always ask him, well, what makes me an expert, family? Because I traveled all around America. In 2018, I've been to over 15 states, following gentrification, looking at the strategies they're using to get us out of these communities, looking at the businesses that we're losing, looking at the people that they're selling their houses, and coaching these people and talking to them, telling them what to do and what not to do, and helping them and assisting them. And I also looked at all the business opportunities that people were missing. And most importantly, I was able to talk with those who know the game and were greatly reaping the benefits, So if you've been following me and look at my Facebook page, you'll see that I've been to some amazing people's parties, that you didn't even know existed. I love going out talking to the Black veterans that's worth hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. And they love talking to business up and coming people, business owners like myself. And they like, look, we got to share the same message. Keep on doing what you're doing. Keep on doing what you're doing, young brother. We like what you're doing, because we got to put our people on the right track. So I like that book you wrote. So that's why they support what I do. So I appreciate if y'all can support it too. Let's get these books into some schools. So when y'all watching the Super Bowl this weekend, won't y'all have some of these books sitting right there on the coffee table? So when the Super Bowl is over, that's like, hey, let's go through this book and tear it apart. And let's talk about some of these topics in here. What is this brother talking about? What's this thing about the appraisers getting over on us? What's this thing talking about the housing values and there's not going to be a recession? Let's read this book and talk about it and see what's he talking about, Anyway, I appreciate y'all, family. $31 to your door. You can cash at me. Money sign Thomas TJ Lofton. You'll see my logo of me popping up. Other than that, you can get it off my website, thomastjlofton.com. $31 to your door, family. I appreciate your time. If you like to book me and have me come to your city, your state, or your country and speak for Black History Month, if you like me to sit on your panel discussion so we can get things turned up a little bit and open some minds up, I would love that. That'd be wonderful. So reach out to me and let's talk about it. Let's see what it's going to take to get me out there. Some people think that, oh, I'm in Africa, I'm in Germany, I'm in Japan where Black people live. It don't matter where you are. If I'm not doing anything for that day or that week, then I would love to come out there and speak to you. So anyway, family, I appreciate y'all. Y'all share these videos for me. Appreciate it. I'm out Instagram. And please register for my event coming up. Monetizing Gentrification, Gardena, California. If you need to know where some hotels are, reach out to me if you want to fly in for the event. I know a lot of people be flying in.